Welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast and radio show infused with hip hop. I am Wood.
Made daily with organic, farm to table, localized, neuralized, sterilized, Scotch guarded for 2020 repellent, available online, shipped via Amazon, not available on Sundays, but now available on thebeastradio.com. Broken Pencil Logic. You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
I mean, typically where the gang goes.
A whole lot of fucking gang shit. Or so I've heard.
And I was stranded this past weekend specifically, while you went to New York City. New York City? Get a rope.
Nah, not around here.
Yo, Schwab, what? So the fact that I had to start off the show like this gotta mean something. Like, what happened in New York City? What took you to New York City on a random Friday?
Wait, did I leave Friday?
Or did you leave Saturday? No, Wheels Up was Saturday. That's the Wheels Up message was Saturday. So what happened that was so like spur of the moment that caused you to catch wheels to the East Coast, son?
My day job has perks.
Shit, I would say so.
Yeah, that's the long and the short explanation.
When people say long story short, that's how you land the plane, pun intended.
For real, like my day job has perks. That's all. We went out there and got some stuff done. Rubbed elbows with some true OGs. And
rub. There's another pun. Rub.
Yeah, I like that. You know what I'm saying? Took Oak Cliff to Times Square. Put some sauce on it.
Had Robin Roberts chunking up the deuce.
Bruh, I don't think anybody's ever done that before. That might be a first. That might be a first in American history.
Black History Moment made on the BPBC.
Can you dig it? Yeah, man. Just I mean, check the socials. First of all, start at Broken Pencil BC on everything. From there, you'll be able to find the socials of the two hosts.
At Danger One, at Suave 4 Mayor. Number 4. From there, you'll be able to put all the pieces together. It's not my job to give you the answers to the test. However, I will tell you where the quiz will be coming from. Well, the book of knowledge, Broken Pencil Logic, is in front of you.
Yup.
We got a lot of that to come during this.
Are you with this shit?
If you're not, you will be. And if you don't want to be, then sorry, you can still listen to this podcast and tell your friends about it because we appreciate that.
Pete, on some wrestling shit, you remember last week we were talking about Eric Bischoff, right?
Uh-huh.
And that we had this quote from him talking about the other 900 people in the room. No, for real. And we were like, where the fuck does that come from? So I finally heard the episode where that quote comes from.
Okay,
and so now I know the context of the other 900 people. So Conrad and Eric Bischoff are having this conversation about creative versus revenue versus demographic and everything else. They're basically just having an analytics conversation about AEW versus WWE. Now, of course, we have already said as far as TV, advertising, demographics, analytics, Eric Bischoff is like a fountain of knowledge. However,
he's a GOAT. Like, he is GOAT level.
Yeah, he's done it. He's done it on every level. He's done it with wrestling, done it with reality television. He's done it on several different levels over, several different decades.
He started in syndicated commercial broadcasting. I'm not talking about like commercial TV. I'm talking about actually doing commercials and syndicating the commercials.
Right. Sales, anything that has to do with the connection between content, television, and the revenue that comes from it, he is a source of knowledge. However, my one flaw with his logic is the fact that he processes the effectiveness, or not even an effectiveness. He processes the quality of said content by the revenue it generates. In other words, broken down into broken pencil logic terms and hip hop community terms,
the dollar per head.
Yeah, if we get money, it's all good. Which we've explained to you on numerous occasions. Okay, so that means we can't be angry at dope dealers ever. Because if we get money, the revenue shows that the content's working, right? So what are we mad at?
This is a fact.
This is a fact. So that logic notwithstanding, they had this conversation about AEW creative versus WWE creative and which one was better. But long story short, they broke it down to like simplest terms, basically saying that AEW was the go-to for the hardcore wrestling fan. It's a niche. It's a niche of a niche, basically.
Okay.
So say the 900 comes from saying if there are 1,000 people in the room and you have 100 that are hardcore, basically the Twitter community of wrestling, the hardcore wrestling fans that love you, and then what are you gonna do to get the other 900? Which they actually use the term casual fan. So take that.
You know how we feel about the casual fan.
Fuck them. Fuck with a F-A-W-K.
Fuck them.
Fuck. But yeah, so that's where the other 900 reference comes from, and it's essentially saying he's saying they need to broaden their presentation and maybe change their arc of storytelling to appeal to a wider audience. Wider audience.
Wider, not whiter.
Right. However, the way, because he was like, okay, he thought WWE's creative was better than AEW's, and Conrad took issue with it, and I'm listening, and I'm like, I may like AEW's creative better. I just may not like their execution better. WWE, it seems like they're producing content for the same age group of people. It's the audience of one shit. It's a person.
That's what I was waiting on. Was that?
Yeah, it's the audience of one. Okay, I don't want to sound disrespectful when I do this, but this is just what it is. It's a group of senior citizens creating content that they think will entertain children, but they haven't been children in like forever, and they don't have any children around them. Your grandson is not gonna tell you that this sucks. You gonna garnish his trust fund. It's like, and he probably doesn't care either, because he's like, I watch it, but I don't really care. I'm on TikTok, bro. But to put a bow on it, that's where the whole 900 reference comes from. I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? Now I know. So, take that for what it's worth.
There it is.
There it is.
So, there's a little context here. So, before we get too deep into the shit.
If you watch The Wire, you know what's up.
Senator Clay Davis, what it do?
Man, Clay Davis is the motherfucking man, buddy.
You're going to be hearing this on Friday, May 20th. Yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
I say, yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
20 and 22.
Hey, man.
And we're recording this on Wednesday, May the 18th. Yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
I said, yeah, of our lord.
Yeah, my lizard.
20 and 22.
Hey, man.
And we got action. That's plain and simple. We got action this week.
Boy, it's smoke. It's smoke.
Monday Night Raw was watchable.
Barely.
The fact they start off with a cage match, you knew it was gonna be some bullshit, but the ending was hilarious.
Did you see the story that went out like right before Raw came on?
No.
So on social media, which is apparently where everything happens,
there was a story that went out that said earlier in the week there was a massive stunt planned for the Omos Bobby Lashley match that had been scrapped. Care to guess what the stunt was? If you don't guess it, you're gonna kick yourself in the ass when I tell you what it was.
Was it a suplex from the top rope that causes the cage to fall apart?
Damn. On the first try.
For real?
So apparently it wasn't the cage, but the ring was supposed to collapse.
The whole Brock Lesnar, Big Show, Mark Henry shit again.
Yeah, Braun Strowman, Big Show.
Oh yeah.
Name
so that was 3 times. I was correct in that, right?
Yeah, I've done it at least 3 times. Hell, I think Bobby has done that exact same spot through the cage, just on the other side of the ring.
You might be right, and I think the landing, I think he was on the receiving end of some bullshit, like he was on Monday night, and the landing caused him to win when he wasn't supposed to win.
No, that was Roman and
Brock and
Saudi.
Roman and Brock and Saudi, correct? Okay,
where Roman speared him through the ropes and through the cage, but then Brock's feet end up hitting first. No, this was an episode of Raw, if I'm not mistaken, and I feel like Bobby was involved, where he got thrown through the cage on the announcer desk side, and something crazy happened. Now, also, one of the last times you saw Big Show in a WWE ring, Braun Strowman had thrown him through the cage in the same manner, and Show kind of hurt himself, like, for real. Or landed bad on an elbow or some crazy shit like that. Because Show, as you know, if you've paid attention to Big Show in his situation, he has bad hips. He's at hip replacement situation, like, so you know why when you saw him wrestle that one match in AEW, why he was moving so gingerly.
Right.
And I'm not sure if the documentary about it is still on Peacock, but they did like an extensive look into his background and the issues he was having with the first hip replacement and the infection that came about. Then they had to go back in, clean it out, do something else. Like, it's a whole thing. It's a big deal. But yeah, that story broke before Raw. Then this ends up being the first match, and they start the fight and the pull apart, and I'm like, maybe they're gonna find a way not to have this match. Oops, I was wrong. So they end up having this match, and I gotta be honest with you, I didn't pay much attention. Like, I'm at that point where, like, Raw has to actually do something to get my attention. I'll be there because we usually use things that go on the show as a part of our presentation, even though we don't chronicle, hour by hour, minute by minute of the show. But something might happen that we discuss
in a different light, maybe. But right now,
right. But obviously, something came up that we'll discuss later on that was a part of Raw,
coming soon,
or wasn't a part of Raw, but. Yeah, I didn't pay the match much attention, so I can't say anything about, one way or the other. But then all of a sudden, I pull my face up from looking at my phone, and I see Lashley getting thrown through a fucking side of the cage. And then, shockingly, stand on 2 feet.
No. He put 5 toes down first, and I'm talking about with a black boot stomp, and then casually walked off with the second foot.
I mean,
man.
Good. If that's the case, good sell on Lashley's part. I just was like, okay, so this is the stunt. So now you still gonna have a third match. Well, wait. It'll be 4th at this point.
Yep.
Fifth if you count arm wrestling.
No, we don't talk about Bruno.
San Martino, or I digress. So, yeah. Your thoughts?
First of all, why is Cedric Alexander still clamoring for the admiration of MVP?
because that is the only thing keeping him out of catering.
The fact that Shelty B is injured for only the second time in his illustrious career is astounding. But
wait a minute, what happened to Shelton?
Apparently he's out with an undisclosed injury. And the only other time I remember him being injured was when he got signed by WWE and failed his physical. And after they did all those vignettes and he was back, and they pulled him, and then like a year later he pops back up, and I guess he had like a torn rotator cuff or something like that. Something to do with his shoulder.
Me and Yim slid something in his drink. I know it.
Oh, whoa! We bringing that back again?
I mean, they gonna be beefing to the end of time.
I mean, Keith Lee was smiling.
Nudge, wink, wink.
Keith Lee was smiling to that on AEW. So
I mean, all I'm saying is, she might have made him piss dirty, so he might not even be injured. He might just be on a little sabbatical.
Yo,
I'm just saying, bro. There are all sorts of reasons. Look, obviously, from what we have seen over the past week or so, nobody's above making up stories to cover up anything. The real reason doesn't always come to light, but if you look close enough, the truth will always reveal itself.
This is very factual.
Book of Swavelations.
So that 316. So outside of the Cedric Alexander shit, I like what they're doing with Omos and Bobby, but Omos, in order to grow, needs more than Bobby. But who else can you put with him of size that's on that roster that's going to be able to help him? And
does it really need to be size though? Shouldn't he just be kicking the shit out of little people until there's a big person to beat up?
I honestly, when you say little people, I'm thinking not people on the roster. I'm thinking about local enhancement talent. Take it back to 85 if you want to start acting like you live. Like,
okay.
Double, triple, quadruple handicap matches, like beat the brakes off of people, and then have somebody come out there tired of watching him bully everybody.
See early days of Ryback. Remember when he used to smash 2 and 3 local athletes at a time? And the term local athlete was the funniest shit ever. Me and CG, shout out to Manipulative Music, we would laugh about that shit nonstop. Local athlete. I don't know who came up with that verbiage, but gold star on you. Because local athlete was the funniest thing. Like, we started referring to bum ass rappers as local athletes. Look at this enhancement talent, this local athlete.
So,
but
yeah, so you can't say jobber. Like, Al Snow and Gang.
It's an offensive term.
Al Snow and Gang marketed the term well.
Yeah, job squad. Well, that's the process of doing a job. They didn't call themselves jobbers.
Well, when calling themselves a job squad, you essentially call yourself a jobber.
I mean, that probably would have been the next step in marketing for me, is to be like, okay, you have a job squad. What are the members of a job squad called? And then would have had Al Snow cut promos and call the entire, arena, where are all my jobbers at?
There you go. See, that's how you make a positive spin on a negative connotation.
But that's, I'm not getting paid from them either.
This is, boy, because
Biz Texas.
And also because for a nominal fee, soon to be a phenomenal fee,
we will take some of this broken pencil knowledge, slice it off, and put it on your plate.
Straight like that. So, at any rate, back on task though. Next pay-per-view is what? Money in the Bank?
For WWE?
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Money in the Bank. That's the only one I've seen commercials for.
Well, let's do our Googles, fam.
Do your Googles, yo.
Oh shit! I keep forgetting they moved this pay-per-view to the summer. Hell in a Cell is next.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because everybody had their panties in a bunch because Roman got pulled from the pay-per-view. Like, what the fuck? Okay, here's the other reason. The other reason why people should not have anything to say about Roman not being on Hell in a Cell. Okay. Other than just an obligatory glorified squash title defense, you weren't going to put Roman inside Hell in a Cell. Why would you do that? It doesn't make any fucking sense. You know why? Because he doesn't have a personal issue like that with anybody. Unless you were going to bring Brock Lesnar back way too soon, and nobody wants to see that shit again.
Man.
They did that in 2017. Wait. No, that was Roman and Braun Strowman, and Lesnar caused the first disqualification in Hell in a Cell history. That was 2018. My fault.
You still with the shit.
I mean, you know, I'm close enough. I just know they destroyed all the credibility of Hell in a Cell in 2 consecutive years. 18 with the DQ finish, where Strowman just basically lost his Money in the Bank shot without actually losing the match, and they never brought it up again. And then the next year was Seth and The Fiend, and we all know how that went.
Right. So we're looking at 3 big stadium shows back to back. We got, first off, Hell in a Cell in Chicago, June the 5th, which is a Sunday. So they went back to Sunday for that one. Then on Saturday, July 2nd, Money in the Bank is in Vegas at Allegiant. Okay. Saturday, July 30th, SummerSlam is in Nashville, where the Titans play. And then Clash at the Castle is Saturday, September 3rd in Cardiff, Wales.
Alright, fam, riddle me this. The pay-per-view is called Hell in a Cell, right?
Yeah.
So obviously there's going to be at the very least, at bare minimum, 1 Hell in a Cell match.
I'm going to say 2 minimum.
I'm saying, you know, because the pay-per-view is called Hell in a Cell, the requirement is at least 1.
The requirement is that there has to be a Hell in a Cell match.
Who the fuck you putting in there? What personal issue have you seen that has had time to develop into a blood feud with the sort of hatred that would require the demonic structure known as Hell in a Cell, with all of its contraptions and devices and creative innovation of violence?
In 2 weeks, the only thing I can think of that's even halfway marketable at this juncture is Edge and Damian Priest versus the Club in a tag team match in Hell in a Cell.
That's actually cool.
That's
cool
it.
Booking, which would be what, Edge's second Hell in a Cell match in a year.
And you still protect Edge because you put him in a tag team match.
I get what you're doing as far as booking. I'm just saying, like, who the fuck wants to continue to see Edge in Hell in a Cell matches that have like very minimal build?
Edge is becoming classy Freddie Blassie. The only difference is Edge has DDP yoga to attribute to his to his longevity.
I mean, which is, you know, shout out to everybody, you know, doing the best that they can do to prolong and continue to have a healthy life and perform and do everything they want to do. So, and I'm not upset that Edge is here. I'm just like, the pay-per-view is called Hell in a Cell. What do you have to give me to sell the fact that I should watch this show?
The only other match I can think of that will make it watch-worthy goes back to Omos and Bobby Lashley. Not with those two, but in the same vein. That's going to be Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins.
Right. So, at which point you're looking at essentially handing Seth his 3rd pay-per-view loss in a row. His 2nd straight Hell in a Cell pay-per-view loss in a year. Not just in a row, this year.
This year, yeah.
Like, you don't really... Okay, I'll give you another one that might work. Assuming you don't get any sort of clear-cut winner on SmackDown, as far as the title unification match. Tag team title unification in Hell in a Cell.
So I was thinking, I didn't think about this until I saw Raw and saw that they were advertising this match, and the one thing that they did for this match, for the advertisement, that I hadn't seen on any other matches advertised for SmackDown in the past, I don't know how long, unless it was just an oversight by me, is them advertising the city that SmackDown is going to be in. You really want to have a unification for the tag titles in Grand Rapids, Michigan?
That's how you know. That's how you know it ain't happening.
Nothing taken away from Grand Rule, but like the best thing that ever come out of Grand Rapids, Michigan was a lot of Dark Man. That's all I got on that.
Henceforth, you know you're not getting. You may not even get the match, but if you get the match, you're certainly not getting a clean finish.
Hey. We
can't even play that shit yet because we don't know what the fuck going on.
No, but you know what's not gonna happen. That's what that should have been. You know what's not gonna happen.
That part. So, like, I mean, we sitting here. We 2 weeks out from the pay-per-view, and they haven't announced not one Hell in a Cell match. Yeah, because you know why? No one has the type of feud or the type of steam behind a feud that warrants a Hell in a Cell match.
Are we going to get Bianca Belair in a Hell in a Cell match with whomever the number one contender is going to be?
The number one contender as of Monday is Asuka, or as Jim Cornette refers to her as Oscar.
Well,
there's no need for a Hell in a Cell in that situation. Now, if you were doing a Becky Lynch rematch, sure, maybe, but you didn't go that route.
Okay, flip it to SmackDown. Chick Flair versus Ronda Rousey in the cage or in a cell.
No one wants to see that for a third time. Plus, Charlotte has been written off television for storyline purposes with this
injured, broken arm.
Was it broken arm, broken radius, or whatever the fuck? Yeah. She's about to get married, so congratulations to her and Andrade for for their union and becoming one and all of that. I have no jokes about Chick Flair or Andrade when it comes to marriage. Congratulations, live life.
But her daddy's another conversation coming soon.
Yeah, then there's that.
But the biggest story of the week coming out of Monday Night Raw is that the WWE Tag Team Champions on the women's side, Sasha Banks and Naomi, seemingly were disappointed and upset with the idea of the creative for a 6-way? Supposedly like a six.
Yes, a 6-pack challenge to determine the number one contender.
With the alleged supposed winner of this match to be Naomi pinning her tag team partner. To which they dropped their belts, took their bags, and went home. Dropped their belts on John Laurinaitis' desk and went home.
Wait. That was the creative? Like, because I've read this story about 16 different times from 27 different sources, but I never heard the part about Naomi was supposed to pin Sasha.
So what's crazy is, before I even read the story, that's what I had in my head. It had to be Naomi was pinning Sasha, and sure enough, that's what it was. And they said it was like there was stories about Naomi pinning Sasha. They didn't like that because there wasn't enough respect put it on them as a tag team. There was stories about not trusting two of the competitors in the match because they hadn't worked with them before. The only two that I could see that could be a problem with would have been like Doudrop and Nikki ASH. Of course, this is just speculation on my part based on the things that I've read. But WWE went out of their way to actually craft a press release to talk about this situation, which I have never seen. Actually, I take that back. The last time they did anything remotely close to this was when they had Confidential and they talked about the Steve Austin situation where he took his ball and went home.
And that's content for TV ratings. So the press release was what made me feel like this shit's a work. But
Corey Graves going out of pocket and calling it unprofessional makes me think that it's a work.
So, I mean, that all of that remains to be seen, because I'm like, if there's one person who should be more than protected from having to deal with bad creative, it would probably be Naomi. Now, we know that not to be completely true, because we've seen how her career path has had its ebbs and flows. But as far as job security, I wouldn't think she has too much to worry about.
I mean, she's literally gang.
You see that's exactly what I'm saying without saying it. But yeah, she's gang, so where the gang goes, the gang goes. With Sasha, I mean, first of all, when you're right, regardless of how anybody else feels about it. If you believe in what you believe in and you standing on what you standing on, shit, sometimes standing on what you standing on means you gotta walk away from what you walking away from.
Also a fact.
With Sasha deciding that she's not a fan of the creative, and obviously she's been a part of this exact scenario before, I feel like she's warranted to ask questions as to, well, why is it every time I get a hold of these tag team championships, me and the partner that I have all of a sudden become afterthoughts? Like, this isn't the first time she's dealt with this. As a matter of fact, it's the reason she left the first time.
You would think that she's the common denominator in all of this nonsense, as it relates to her, like, people questioning her character. But this time, she has a ton of support from both her peers in WWE and out of WWE.
True, but you let these, and I hate using this term, but I mean, it doesn't fit any better than it does right now. You have all these dirt sheets basically pushing the narrative that she's a mark for herself, she's entitled, just unprofessional, and all the different things that go with it. And I'm like, you do realize that she's not the first nor the last person to do this. And she's not even the last, she's not the first or the last woman to do this.
And she definitely won't be the last.
Absolutely, not going to be the last. I can go ahead and count that for you now, because Charlotte's still employed. It's going to happen again.
And I'm not even taking anything away from the people who are there now, but the generation that's underneath them, they're getting softer and softer when it comes to real life situations. There's going to be a whole lot of corporate energy being spread throughout these front offices.
Facts, and a lot of these people are not they're not lifelong professional wrestling fans. So I know WWE feels like they're turning a corner by getting people that they can mold and shape, but if they're not integrated into the lifestyle or the traditions of professional wrestling, they're going to treat this shit like any other job. And the minute you get to fucking around with them and their livelihood, they gonna blow the whistle on your ass.
I mean, even with WCW, there seemed to be a level of legitimacy when you start there before you go to WWE, because it's always like WWE was the pinnacle. But when you start in WWE and then get relegated or go somewhere else, even if it's a better situation for you, it's like the diehard fans won't give you the respect you deserve. The people in the back won't give you the respect you deserve, because if they were there, which most of them were at one point in time or another, they know what you dealt with.
It's the equivalent of getting signed to pick the biggest Universal. It's the equivalent of you getting signed to Universal Music Group and having like a major smash first single produced by Timbaland with Justin Timberlake singing the fucking hook, and then ending up
and you're recouping your signing bonus.
I was gonna say this, yeah, you recoup your signing bonus, but then you get dropped, and this is a dated reference, you're gonna end up on Koch, but with better bars.
E1.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is not if you didn't grow up with the mindset that you wanted to do this for a living, that fall from grace is enough for you to just say fuck it and quit.
And it's not the fall that hurts, it's the sudden stop.
That part.
So yeah.
The future is going to be way different, because they're dealing with a different breed of people. Like, Gen Z ain't going for it.
Now, here's the deal. Sasha Banks can go away. Mercedes Varnado already has legs. No pun intended.
Facts.
I mean, like, she's got Disney legs.
Literally. And figuratively.
Naomi, like, she just has her family.
Look.
And that should be enough.
If she wanted to go sit home and start a family, she could, and she'd never have to take another bump in her life, and she'd be good. Also, she comes from a background in sports, well, damn, sports entertainment, hit the doom doom. But as a former dancer for the Orlando Magic, so I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility that she could go back into that. She could deal with some choreography type shit. Like
like even if she's not in the forefront, she can secure a bag off of the last 10 years of everything that she's done, the entire dichotomy of her last 10 years. She can secure a bag in another life off of that alone because she's athletic by nature.
Factual. She is not lacking talent nor opportunity.
But there's also a narrative that's out there that says that Sasha manipulated Naomi into joining her with this. Again, as we say all the time, where the gang goes, the gang goes. I've never seen a situation where a tag team, no matter if they're makeshift or not, where they have chemistry, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if something goes awry with A, then B sticks around just to say, well, A wasn't really that dope anyway.
Yeah. Like, unless it was like storyline booked, like they booked the acolytes to end that way.
Yes.
Because they wanted to turn Bradshaw heel, but like in real life, like
and that was a draft split anyway. That wasn't just like a
no. They fired Ron.
Ron Simmons. Yeah. Quote unquote. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they did the whole shit on SmackDown where like he thought they both were gonna leave and Bradshaw stayed. But you don't really see that take place in real life to that extent. And furthermore, these are grown-ups, and this is the world of professional wrestling. So fuck what we talking about manipulating. There's manipulating going on in every talent meeting. They manipulate you to carry out this creative. They manipulate you to dress a certain way. They manipulate you to smile in front of the cameras when you're doing your entrances. They manipulate you to do all these autograph signings.
You manipulate children and call it grooming. You cannot manipulate an adult.
Bruh, dip off that shit. Grooming?
I'm referencing something else here. I'm referencing something from one of our previous episodes.
I know, but I just started Velveteen. I started itching and I felt
Velveteen-ish. It's not beautiful. What is it, Velveteen?
Yeah, that part. That fucking part. All of that.
My bad, Swab.
I mean, do you think? Do your Googles? Do you think? But the whole thing I don't want to speak for you, but I feel comfortable in this situation being able to speak.
You're probably spot on. Go ahead.
There's a double standard at play right now.
Ooh,
because we have absolutely watched as different people for different reasons have expressed their discontent with the creative process in Stamford, and then gone as far as to act on that discontent. Namely, most recently, Tony Storm. Tony Storm dipped in the middle of a program with the SmackDown Women's Champion and said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home."
And she's only been on the main roster for 2 months.
2 months. 2 months on the main roster was enough to say, you know what?
Fuck this.
Fuck you, fuck this. Fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you. I'm out. Pat Buck just said, I want to spend more time with my family and resigned from WWE the night after producing a WrestleMania main event.
2 weeks later, he gets a cameo on AEW because he signed it with them backstage as a producer.
So don't say shit to me about what's unprofessional and who's entitled and what you shouldn't do and what shouldn't be allowed and who's a mark for themselves and all that other shit. Because if it's okay for them, it's more than okay in this situation because they went to management, voiced their concerns, nothing was made of their concerns, so they said, okay, you can take these chili can tops with leather straps that you have, and you can put them in the fucking museum for all we care, because we finna go home.
You can get smoke on paper at 450 degrees, but at 451, that shit goes amok. It goes into flames.
So
anytime you see smoke, you can guarantee something caused it, and if left untreated, usually with water or some type of anti-flamant or flame retardant solution, you are going to see a fire.
Have we not in the last 6 to 8 months had conversations about Charlotte basically playing chicken with WWE management? Like, either you gonna give me what I asked for, or I'm gonna dip on your whole ass.
Well, that's crying wolf. She was playing chicken with Nia Jax.
No. She was playing slapbox with Nia Jax and got her fucking snot rocked. But just the whole shit about just taking matters into your own hands. Now, had Sasha and Naomi decided to go through with Monday Night Raw and got on Monday Night Raw and started clowning, then you could have said it was unprofessional. But even then, you can't blame them for, turning a work into a shoot, because Charlotte just did the shit with Becky for fucking Survivor Series.
I mean, like I call it taking liberties.
Exactly. So if we gonna call people out for taking liberties, everybody gotta come to the carpet,
bruh.
Everybody gotta sit on the carpet Indian style while we read this story. and if we not gonna do that, then everybody let's fucking go to recess. Let's stop playing because what I'm seeing from a certain segment of the internet community, wrestling community, and you know who we're referencing when we do this, they're super angry for some reason unbeknownst to us. They're super angry that these two women who happen to be former women's division champions, current women's tag team division champions, who happen to be of a certain melanated tone of skin, have decided to exercise their right to say no. And now all of a sudden saying no is just the wrong thing to do. Like we had Speaking Out, we had Me Too, all these different campaigns, all these different social movements to expose all sorts of wrongdoings. And we fully support all of those people. If you've been mishandled, say something. And we will support the fact that you've been mishandled, and the proper channels will, delete who needs to be deleted. But now all of a sudden, because it's Sasha Banks and Naomi, and they look the way they look and they are who they are, now it's not okay to say no? Because the former Ember Moon, current Athena page, says in a talent meeting they wanted us to basically turn into strippers. Now it's not okay.
I'm glad you referenced that. I encourage anyone who's listening to this to go back. If you want a good read about mistreatment from one side, where you're not going to get any rebuttal from the other side, go Google Athena or Athena page, Ember Moon, and you'll see a very long, detailed chronicle article from her as part of like either an interview or a podcast or something. It's worth the read. It's too much for us to talk about because we talked about it too long and didn't cover even half of it.
You feel what I'm saying? So you start to see a pattern, because Ember/Athena, she didn't just, say, fuck it, I'm going home. She was still attempting to work, and they shelved her. So, we just recently had this conversation. Last week's show was entitled Artists, and we were talking about how professional wrestlers going forward were going to start conducting themselves a lot more like professional athletes in order to get shit done.
Facts.
I see this is no different. This is, okay, I don't like how I'm being used in this offense. Well, you're going to run the plays that I call. Okay, well, I'm going to go home.
Well, shit, I'm just going to sit on the sideline wearing street clothes, and don't expect me to check in when you want me to go to the scorer's table.
Antonio Brown, Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson deactivated himself as a healthy scratch for an entire season. Now, obviously, there was an outside legal issue looming over that, but if he told the Texans he wanted to play, he would have played.
I'm not so sure of that.
Oh, I'm 100% sure.
I have my reasons, none of which I'm willing to discuss on this show, but I do have my reasons for that.
We'll do it on the other one. No, but
we already have. See,
we have, but the fact that we now have this impasse where we don't necessarily agree, I say he would have played for a couple of reasons. One, if he tells the Texans he wants to play, that gives them the idea that he intends to stay. Which then, all of those accusers, well, I won't say all, but fuck it, you right. We're not even going to discuss it.
There you go. There you go.
You sure right. Lead the way, brethren. So, yes, but there's going to be a lot more action like this. The MJF contract situation.
Oh, boy.
Roman taking a sabbatical. Sasha and Naomi deciding that, hey, this isn't the type of offense we want to run. We feel like we're being disrespected. And I mean, now you don't have... See, WWE might have let their greed fuck them off. Because you know what the best thing about the old contracts was as far as merchandise being a part of the pay scale or a part of your potential earnings?
The more you promoted yourself, the higher you earned, and the fact that you were able to pay a lower dollar amount for a yearly for the downside guarantee.
1, 2. Now let me give you the hat trick. The hat trick of it is, in order to sell merchandise, I need to be on television.
Boy.
So now I'm willing to do more of the shit I don't like just to make sure I can wear my merchandise on television so I can sell it.
Zack Ryder, the Usos 10 years ago. Hell, JTG on Superstars.
I need to be able to sell merchandise, so I will take whatever slot is available on whatever show is circulating, because some money's better than no money.
And slow money is better than no money.
For show money, trying to get some more money, you end up with no money.
Moving on, speaking of money, this degenerate ass heifer, Tammy Sitch, aka Sonny,
Jailbird,
was remanded back to jail,
as some criminals need to be,
and had her bond revoked, according to Mike Johnson and PW Insider, and also WKMG News 6 Click Orlando. Through the duration of her manslaughter trial over the weekend, this past weekend in Florida. And her fiance is the one that came with some agita about this. Now, we've talked about this to the point to where I never want to talk about her ever again, but I found this interesting enough to make a quick story about. And as the story goes, here's a quote from her alleged fiance, James Penty. I think the whole process, I think this whole process, everyone's been hurt, not just the family. They should have decided she was a threat to society before they granted a $225,000 bond and we paid $22,000. And then he goes on to say he, quote, felt horrible for the guy's family, but that the court should have made a decision before taking the $22,000 of my money. Bitch, please. She should have been held without bond to begin with. Now, do you think should you get your money back? Definitely, because they fucked up. She had just been to court a month before and had been either charged or convicted or something to that. I think she was convicted and was like minimally fined or minimally served or some shit before this accident happened that killed a man in a DUI that she was involved in. A month. And it took them another month for her to be arrested for it.
All I'm saying is it didn't take that long for anything to happen with Henry Ruggs. So if you just want something in the recent memory to be able to compare this to, then there's that.
I went to DC 2 years ago, right in the heart of the pandemic. Everything was shut down. Fences were up in front of the White House, so you couldn't get within a mile maybe of the White House from the street. And on this fence was a Black Lives Matter. That wasn't necessarily a mural, but a tribute on the fence. And it was, I would dare say, everyone that had been killed at the hands of police violence who was of color. And none of them had the opportunity to be charged for their crime and or arraigned and or offered bail or bond and or offered a trial by a jury of their peers. Meanwhile, this bitch out here doing the most over and over again at the name of alcohol without treatment. A WWE Hall of Famer still. Here's what they think about you. Anyway, rest in peace to the young man that was killed at the hands of this degenerate ass heifer. No X.
I just I don't understand. I don't understand how. Yeah, I do. Keep going. Don't even worry about it. I know exactly how that shit happened. Why would I lie? Why would I lie and say I don't know how this shit happened? I know exactly how it happened. The fuck you mean?
More disappointing news from the side of Injustice. Cain Velasquez.
What happened to the Hounds of Injustice?
Well, one of them is AEW, and he's actually going to be talked about here soon.
Well, they were the Hounds of Justice. I guess the Hounds of Injustice.
Oh no, that's the alter ego of the Justice League. We can't. We don't talk about Bruno.
Shit.
According to ESPN.com, Cain Velasquez has been denied bail for the second time in an attempted murder case, and mind you, he was charged with attempted murder and faces 20 years or more of jail time if convicted, after chasing down a man who was accused or was, we might as well just say, was molesting a relative of Cain Velasquez's. Cain in my book is a hero.
Exactly. This shit's so fucking backwards. So, okay, I know he's got enough money to afford decent enough counsel. He ain't doing the 20. I don't want to see him do any jail time. I'd actually be a little irritated if he got probation, but because I know he probably cannot separate himself from this situation unscathed, I'll accept probation.
There's a little bit more to the story that I can't discuss, that I will discuss with you off air.
I bet that.
But I got
let me temper my responses then until I have full disclosure of what's going on. But either way,
I have a feeling they're going to try to exercise the law to the letter, whatever that may be. Not in favor of Cain Velasquez, unfortunately. But in this situation, he ended up striking, firing a gunshot, and into the vehicle of the guy who was accused, and one of the bullets hit the alleged abuser vehicle, and the bullet hit his stepfather, and he suffered non-life-threatening injuries. But because a gun was fired,
walk it off.
Thank you. Because a gun was fired in the direction of the person that Cain was chasing, and it was premeditated. This is what makes that an attempted manslaughter charge, because no one had life-threatening injuries. We got to do better. We got to do better, man. As a country, we have got to do better.
Separate but equal, no sugar.
Man. Innocent until proven guilty, no Simpson. Or guilty until proven innocent, no Simpson. As we move on, we were talking about Chick Flair, right? Why in the hell are we talking about Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, 71 years old?
What's old man Flair up to now?
Another match?
Why?
Not just another match.
Like, have we not cheated death enough?
A reuniting of all the Four Horsemen. I'm sure sans Oli.
Of course.
I'm sure of that.
Of course. You can get every member of the Horsemen ever.
Nope.
Except Oli.
Nope. You can't. There's two you can't get. One is the unmentionable. The other one is Steve Mongo McMichael, who's fighting a hell of a fight right now. I saw a picture of him today with Mike Singletary, and of all people, Deborah Marshall. Oof.
I mean, hell, Luger ain't exactly.
Luger was a horseman. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Luger. Yeah. I mean, but you can get him in a picture.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I saw when that story broke, I was like, this is gonna be an epic moment, but a sad photo.
Do you know who's being billed as the promoter for this?
No.
Jim Crockett Promotions.
You out your fucking mind. Which member of the Crockett family is participating in this shit?
David and everybody else not named Jim, as Jim passed away last year.
Boy, that's a lie. Has it come to this? We fucked off all that money. We didn't do nothing. We ain't buy no crypto. We ain't sell no houses. We ain't flip no real estate. We ain't bought no land.
He got divorced.
Well, then there's that.
That
would have negated all of the other shit I just named off.
And this is what, for the sixth time? Here's the irony. Well, I don't even know if this is irony or coincidence.
No, not Flair. I know how Dr. Flair is with his money. I'm talking about the Crockett family.
Crockett's, oh, David.
Why is we back outside promoting fairground wrestling?
David has been on TV more in the last year than he has in the last 30 combined. Okay. So, listen, I mean this in the nicest way possible. Oh, there's more news to this too. I mean this in the nicest way possible. I don't want to see a snuff. For that reason, I will not be copying this on pay-per-view. I don't care. Here's what's crazy. Let me pull this up so I can give you the exact particulars on this promotion. The match is taking place in Nashville, July 31st. Last match was wrestled in 2011. I'm sure maybe, I don't know if that was with Reed or not. But his last match was wrestled in 2011. He was born in Memphis. I don't know if you know or aware of that or not, but he was born in Memphis. So it's the place where he was born. You can fill in the rest of that blank. Mm-hmm. You just stated 6-man tag at the fairgrounds. So in this match will be the Nature Boy Ric Flair. I know the Rock and Roll Express will also be there, and FTR will be there.
Who's Flair's on the team with FTR. Then there's Rock and Roll Express, and I guess a mystery partner, or I don't know.
I will almost be willing to bet money it's Ricky Steamboat.
Damn, good call.
It's a whole lot of North Carolina on that match, and Ricky Steamboat fits the build.
All right, give me a top 5 who it could be.
All right, Rick Steamboat.
That's one.
It's not going to be Tully. Can't be Barry. It definitely won't be Arn.
Well, they're all going to be there for basically a final hurrah of horsemen.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect any of them to be on the opposite side.
Right. One of his last matches, one of his last great matches was a car crash with Mick Foley. Doesn't fit the bill, but fits the story. So I'll put Mick at number 2.
Okay. I got one for you that actually makes a whole lot of sense.
Go ahead, come on.
Probably way more feasible than a lot of them. Sting.
The last match on WCW for Ric Flair was with Sting. That makes a lot of sense.
Got another one for you.
Oh shit! There goes my top 5. Go ahead.
Jay Lethal.
Whoa! For 2 reasons. 2 reasons.
Okay.
One, because of the tie-in at TNA. 2, because he was recently spotted online training with Ric Flair in the ring.
That's how all this shit started. Like someone air quotes asked Ric Flair, which I mean it could have been someone who really asked him, or it could have just been like one of those like nobody ... this person responds type shit where you just made up a reason to show yourself in the ring working. But
It's like, hey, can you still do it in the ring? And then this clip of, kind of working with Jay Lethal surfaces. And then from there, it rolls over into, and now, for live from the Flair grounds.
I got one more honorable mention.
Who you got?
Nikita Koloff.
That would be out of left field.
Nikita Koloff hasn't been seen in the ring since the mid-90s or early mid-90s, and he wasn't going by Nikita Koloff at the time. He was going by Vladimir Koloff. And then also, last but certainly not least, as an honorable mention, for obvious reasons, the natural, Dustin Rhodes.
I'm glad you said that because that's exactly who I was thinking. I was like, okay, anytime you can get a Rhodes involved with a Flair, there's money to be made.
It's money to be made.
Cody's indisposed and Dusty's booking from the box seats.
Yes. Now, here's what's crazy. Now, you ready?
If you will.
If you will. Here's what's crazy. You ready for this?
Shoot.
The company that's putting this on under the banner of Jim Crockett Promotions
had better have insurance.
Whoa, fasten your seatbelt. Thuzio is the name of the company.
Who?
Thuzio. A company that was acquired by Triller.
And this is Triller pay-per-view.
There is a bag attached, and this will be on Fight.
Okay, now you see why. This has nothing to do with proving that he can still wrestle. This is a money grab. And it's a 6-man tag, so he doesn't have to carry a huge load. Nobody's in danger of going to the hospital or worse. And you get a couple of other people paid too.
Quarantine is over, but Triller walked us through quarantine with fights and with verses. And
you feel me?
Pharrell and Timbaland kicked this whole versus thing off, created a franchise, and Triller said, let me have that. And Triller turned it into an event.
Wait, was it Tim and Pharrell or was it Tim and Swizz?
I'm sorry, that's Pharrell. Timmy and Swiss. You're absolutely correct. I'm thinking Virginia. But yeah, Timmy and Swiss did that. So, so Triller has their hands in yet another sports venture. So that's for those keeping score at home. We have boxing, and now we have professional wrestling. Is MMA next, or is what they did with some of these fight cards in the last couple of years considered MMA?
And they all already have relationships with Fight TV because that's where you have to watch versus now if you're not catching them live.
Right. So I'm not thrilled about this.
Now that we got to the bottom of that mystery.
Yeah, the mystery machine is backed up, and they would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for us meddling kids.
I see what you did there. I like it.
What else do we have on the agenda?
On the cool. That's the title of the episode. Mystery Machine.
Mystery Machine.
That's it. That's it. There it is, sir. Congratulations, you've won the internet for the day.
Let's see here. We have a half-witted apology.
Half-witted apology?
Boy.
From who?
Zachary Wentz.
Okay.
Who is Zachary Wentz? You know him better as Nash Carter. One half of MSK that was unceremoniously relieved of his duties while as a champion for a pro-Nazi photo that he made that his girlfriend, fiance, wife, whoever she is, his significant other released. And let me just read this just for the sake of me being, of this cloth, if you will. This is from Zachary Green, as he is known. Quote, "No words can truly describe how ashamed and apologetic I am for my conduct in the photograph. There is no excuse for such behavior, and I take full responsibility for my actions and ask for forgiveness. This picture was taken in 2015, a time where I was uneducated on the topic and therefore did not understand the magnitude of how hurtful it was. In 2020, someone was trying to extort me by threatening to post it to social media. I sent it to my wife to discuss the situation. Apparently, she kept it and then decided in retaliation for the filing of the divorce to post it to social media. Regardless of how the photo came to light, there is still no excuse for my actions. Over the past month, I've taken time to reflect on my conduct, to which I express my utmost remorse and regret. I have spent time off social media to refresh and re-educate myself about the horrors of the Holocaust. I truly do hope that this situation will teach and bring awareness to the horrific tragedy that took place, so that something like this will never happen again. I can assure you that this is not who I am or what I represent as a human being, and I feel it is never too late to educate or better yourself. If you are ever in the Orlando-Maitland area, take some time to visit the Holocaust Memorial Resource and Education Center of Florida, where you can learn about the history and depth of what took place. It was incredibly eye-opening and impactful experience that teaches the importance of this history. Boy, fuck you.
I don't know what you want me to say about that.
You don't have to say anything. I just read it and I said what I said.
Well, where the gang goes.
Speaking of boy, fuck you, Chris Jericho proposed to do another Stadium Stampede.
Boy, fuck you.
Midway through, the boy Mox says, I'm not doing that shit. Good, Mox. Way to stand on your morals. Chris went through the most sports entertainment promo he's probably ever done, especially in AEW with a bunch of clowns around him, and they thought it was entertaining. And all he did was really genuinely piss off 3 Latinos, John Moxley and Bryan Danielson, along with William Regal.
Oh my! At this point, I'm ready for Senior Jericho to take a light sabbatical. Like we gotta figure out what the fuck's wrong.
Just go on tour, man. Go with Fozzy. You know what I'm saying?
Like anytime to drop another Fozzy album or something, like you gotta let this shit breathe.
Let it be your last. I mean, you're obviously hitting the gym again. Wink, wink. And like, you know, do what top tier do what Jericho paid talent does in AEW. Just keep the bag, go away, come back, give people time enough to miss you, because right now no one cares.
Like, your presence has essentially neutered Jake Hager.
He's talking less now than he was in WWE when he had a mouthpiece.
I don't give a damn about him talking. I mean, fighting. This man is a legitimate MMA fighter.
Undefeated.
Like, you had I guess you had a great value Brock Lesnar on your hands if you would handle it right. And I really don't mean that as a slight.
You actually had money with him and Brock Lesnar if you put him back in WWE. You had it. Don't know if you have it anymore, but you had it right there.
That part. Because when's the last time he fought? I don't think he's fought since he's been under AEW contract.
It's just been 2 years. He has. He fought once. He won.
So
too.
Like at the very beginning.
Yep. Or maybe it may have been right before quarantine.
One of those sounds right. But he hasn't fought in quite some time. So like there's no fresh memories of him you don't remember that he's an MMA fighter unless you were already in tune with that.
Actually, it was in the middle of quarantine. It was against Brandon Carlton at Bellator 250, which was in October of 2020.
And then if you're going to really be a jackass about it, he fought Wardlow in some makeshift ass cage fight. Then there's that. So, like you pissed away whatever equity you had in him for the greater glory of Chris Jericho. Don't fucking get it. It would make more sense to me if it was just Jericho and Hager, similar to MJF and Wardlow. Like, if you just had that dynamic that eventually erupted and boiled over. Like, Jake Hager's literally, like, hired security. And the type of hired security that doesn't ever beat anyone up.
Man.
you just usher him towards car service. That's it. Then the rest of these goofy motherfuckers, like, damn it.
He's the the Tyrus looking guy from AEW. Like, he stands in front, he's a menacing figure, but he's not going to lay hands on you, even though he will put hands on you.
He's not even like Dave Bautista holding the collection box.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like that half Batista, half Leviathan shit.
Deacon Dave.
Batista, Deacon Dave. Hey, yo, Deacon Dave, you gonna be at the church on Saturday?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Let's see what else we got here. Oh, New Japan had a card in DC recently. Capital Collision.
Oh. Okay, I thought it was gonna be internet indictment, considering how they handling shit nowadays.
No, sir. They actually had some heat on this card because, like, you didn't realize that it was just gonna come out of nowhere. But the reason why Eddie Kingston got fireballed apparently was to go build a quick program with my guy, the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. You also had Jay White on the card, who was doing his rounds to be the English speaking face for
quick fade with the switchblade. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, for the pay-per-view. Coming up with AEW, the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. Wink, wink. Jay White Hikuleo representing Bullet Club took on Kaz Okada and Rocky Romero representing Chaos. You also had there was another crucial match that was on there. Will on display. Who was it? Oh yeah. Juice Robinson and Hiroshi Tanahashi took on Will on display and John Moxley. Oh no, that was a US title match. It was a 4-way for the US title.
Yeah, I thought that was about right.
Yeah. I'm about to say there's no reason why those folks should be in a tag team. Great O'Con took on Chase Owens, Brody King with Minoru Suzuki. Oh man, oh dear Lord. You can just hear the slaps on that one. United Empire took on TMDK, and there was a whole like a 10-man tag featuring Team Filthy, and then also the DKC along with that. So you had the DKC, Yuya Uemura, Dave Finley, Tongaloa, and Fred Rosser taking on Jarrell Nelson, Royce Isaacs, JR Kratos, Denny Limelight, and Filthy Tom Lawler. And then also Ren Narita and Carl Fredericks went head up. So that card is available on New Japan World. I believe the replay is available on Fight too, and some of the matches even available on YouTube. So it's definitely worth a check out whenever you get a chance. Music. Of course, the talk of the town is Kendrick Lamar's album, Mr. Morale, and what's the name? Mr. Morale and what?
The Big Steppers.
The Big Steppers. Kendrick's last TDE project, but also Method Man, the Meth Lab 3 dropped. MC8 dropped a new album. Cypress Hill dropped another album, banger. Paul Wall and Terminology dropped the album that was produced entirely by Static Selector. Trying to think if there's anything else I've missed, because that's a lot for you to go and digest right there. But I mean, we're talking like 5 hours with the music right there alone.
So Pete, this is a perfect segue, and I know we didn't even plan this on the agenda, but Nyla Rose put a tweet out, and in it, Nyla asked rappers that would make good wrestlers.
Yo, first of all, I've always said Red Meth should be a tag team.
Facts.
EPMD should be tag team champions, or should back in the day, based on the era and the size. Because those are some. We're talking like in excess of 6'3" each, totaling 500 plus pounds. Like that's a legitimate WWE WWF tag team.
Actual factuals. Mystical. I said he should probably be a wrestler. Sean Price.
Rest in peace. There was a story that Mystical's boot camp clique went to the new music seminar or Jack the Rapper or something and ran up on the boot camp clique from Brooklyn and handled business. Keep in mind, Mystical's ex-military.
Then there's that. Shout out to Craig Pitbull Pittman.
Hey, who else will be King's son? I don't know if you remember him, but King's son, I think he was 6'8". He was I think he played basketball at the University of Louisville.
Well, shout out to Slim Thug while we at it.
Slim Thug definitely should be a professional. Or could have been. Now, even now, Fit Slim Thug could be a professional wrestler. Dr. Dre and Timbaland could be a tag team.
Old Dirty Bastard belongs.
Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, that was my first. Yeah, when I started commenting, because we dealt with this in a thread. That was one of the first ones. That was the guy.
Basically, anybody except for Scarface that was in Def Jam Vendetta and Def Jam Fight for New York could be professional wrestler.
David Banner, Snoop,
WC, Mac 10, Ice Cube, like MC Ren. Like literally, you could bring NWA in as a faction.
Pun and Fat Joe.
Oh man.
LL Cool J, 50 Cent.
Who else? Yeah. LL could still do it to this day.
I saw one real funny one that said Meg Thee Stallion.
she could do it.
She could. Like, you know how much money I'd pay to see her
Hot
Meg Thee
Girl
Stallion versus Jade Cargill-Berg?
Listen, how about Hot Girl Meg and
that's exactly what her wrestling name would be, Hot Girl Meg.
And Nicki Minaj as a tag team.
Okay, Hot Girl Meg with Nicki Minaj in her corner versus Jade Cargill with Jade Cargill-Berg with Cardi B in her corner.
So 175-0 still continues, and this is just a speed bump on the way to the top.
The road to 175-0. I gotta get with it. I swear to God, I hope somebody's listening. Just get her to 175-0, and I will bow out gracefully. No one will be harmed. No harm will come to anyone. Just get to 175-0, and then you can do whatever you please.
Man, and I tell you this too. Two rappers right now that actually are wrestling and doing it at a high level: Shane Swerve Strickland, and also Gang Dante Smiley, the champ.
Which leads me to the thing I did not know that was going on that I just learned about today. Guess who is wrestling for Booker T's Reality of Wrestling promotion?
Let's see. First off, because bitch, Texas. But I don't know.
For those of you who have never, dipped your ears in southern, you know what? It's not even country rap tunes. It's almost like southern car culture music. But there's got to be a different way to
slab music.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Settle for less, steak and shrimp. Look, just Google it. Just do me a favor. Google it. I've had the distinct pleasure of sharing show cards with this individual. So I don't co-sign very many people. But I will say that you will absolutely enjoy whatever you listen to from him. And now that I know he's wrestling, now I'm interested to see how that's going to work out.
And that person is?
I just gave you the name. Settle for less.
Oh.
LE $. Steak and shrimp, man.
Yeah, I know LE $. I didn't realize it was Settle for Less.
Well, that's the Twitter moniker, and then that's what it started as.
Got you. Okay.
And some more stuff.
Yeah, I know LE $.
I'm glad he's doing it because I'm not taking no bumps. I played entirely too much football. I'm not taking any bumps. So
yeah,
I might for the right price, but the chances of me just like going to school for this,
I would have pre-knee injuries I would have gladly learned to take a bump or two, because I had a stupid 20-year-old bone in my body, and you know it was itching to do dumb shit up until that moment. And at this,
me and Ogre absolutely had it on our mind.
Like, Earl Ray, what up, man?
You feel what I'm saying? We had this shit planned out. We were going to TNA. That's where we were gonna go cut our teeth. We were gonna go to TNA and we go smash all through Orlando and then work our way up.
Me and Petty had talks about going to NXT, and I was supposed to be the manager. Frederick Danger, Esquire.
Yeah, you got to put the Esquire on there. I'm talking about we had a finishing move and everything. Like we had figured this out.
Oh, we had entrance music, a walk to the ring, the whole, all that.
I think we
that might be video content.
Right, and of course, being super ignorant, we named all our offensive tandem moves after like hood slang.
I figured it would have been after rap tunes, but
well, that too. But it would be like I think one of them was called a peace off. so you had to imagine the announcer called it. Wait a minute, he's about to peace off.
It has to be McAfee. It's the only person that's worthy.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So even the Impact, like actually Don West. Get well to Don West too. He's suffering right now. But yeah, Don West would be the perfect person to call something like that, because he had he had big home shopping network energy, so he could have done anything.
Oh no, Don West was the king of the hard sell. Pause.
Yeah, I think that about does it, man. Show at brokenpencilbc.com, brokenpencilbc@gmail.com. That's at brokenpencilbc on what?
Everything.
With the shit. Broken Pencil Logic. You can't write this. Mark my words. Fuck the casual fan. And shouts out to my man Ron Murray.
Price just went up. Price just went up.
Like these gas prices. Good Lord. Oof. Man. All right. At any rate, check out your local streaming platform. Get some of that good music we just named off. And Suave, you can do what you do best. Take us to the house.
Pencil pushers. Heads up. Pencils down.
With your funky ass.
That's unfortunate. Wash.